This is the last known footage of a 2-year-old Teekah Lewis, recorded only 20 days before she disappeared on January 23, 1999. On that day, Teekah was with her family at the bowling alley.
It was a very, very busy Saturday night, the busiest day of the week.
I remember going there, just seeing tons of people.
Her mom briefly looks away for just 10 seconds, and in that moment, Teekah disappears. She frantically looks around for her, but Teekah is nowhere to be found. Unbeknownst to her, this incident marked the third and final attempt of kidnapping in the area in the past 7 days. Now, with Teekah as his first successful attempt, the kidnapper is confident he has gotten away with his crime. However, what he doesn't know, just seconds before he left the alley with Teekah, a teenage boy witnessed a strange man rushing with a young girl to the bathroom, unaware at the moment that the girl was being kidnapped. Now, with no CCTV cameras nor evidence around the area, the only hope of finding Teekah lies with this teenage witness and what he is able to remember.
I just thought it was the father just rushing his daughter to the bathroom.
And that man took my child, my everything.
There's a family desperately hoping you can bring their child home tonight.
It needs to come to an end. It's time to bring her home.
It's a cold Saturday evening on January 23, 1999, and Teekah's family is getting ready to go bowling together at the local alley located near Tacoma's Center Street. What they're not aware of, a child predator is just around the corner, watching their every step. Lots of people are at the alley, and the parking lot is packed, since it is a league night. There are 12 of them together, including Teekah's mother, Teresa, her baby sister, mom's boyfriend, and a few of her uncles. Teekah first gets hooked on this claw machine, where she tries to grab prizes with a claw, but she can't snag a teddy bear. Then, her uncle comes to the rescue, winning the bear for her. She gives it to her baby sister and comes back to the machine to play some more. The whole family is vigilant, making sure the kids stay safe, especially with so much happening tonight. At 10:15 p.m., a strange woman approaches Teresa, asking her to hold Teekah. It feels a bit off, so she refuses the request. At 10:20 p.m., Teekah is deeply engrossed in arcade games. The machines are lined up against the wall, about 6 feet away from the side exit door leading to the east side of the building. Teresa stands nearby, watching her daughter play happily. The family takes turns, keeping an eye on Teekah while they enjoy bowling. When it's Teresa's turn to bowl, her boyfriend steps in to supervise Teekah, assuring Teresa he will watch her closely. But in the blink of an eye, Teekah disappears. She is nowhere to be seen. Teresa desperately searches between the arcade games, thinking Teekah might be playing hide-and-seek. Panic rises, and she scans the crowd in the bowling alley, hoping to spot her among the sea of faces, young and old. Teresa would later recall, "I turned my head for less than a minute and she was gone. Someone had to pick her up and run out the door. She's a mommy's girl, she wouldn't wander off." Teekah's family becomes frantic searching for her. They search everywhere. The bowling alley, the parking lot, even the bathrooms. They ask everyone around if they have seen her, but Teekah is nowhere to be found. As Teresa steps out of the bathroom, she bumps into an off-duty police officer. Together, they scour the area, informing the bowling alley staff about the missing child. They urge the staff to check every part of the alley, including the employee-only zones, and to broadcast an urgent message over the intercom. Despite their efforts, when the staff makes the announcement moments later, it seems like most people in the alley remain oblivious, focused solely on their bowling game. In the cold January of Western Washington, the night's temperature hovers just above freezing. Teekah isn't wearing a coat, plus, she dreads the dark and wouldn't brave it without her mom. Soon, the Tacoma Police Department rushes to the New Frontier Lanes bowling alley, desperately searching for Teekah Lewis. Hours drag on with no trace of her. Initially, they think she wandered off, but as time passes, fear creeps in. Has she been snatched? For the next 15 hours, everyone is on high alert, searching non-stop. The police, rescue teams, a helicopter with a special camera, and even 8 dogs are all out here, scouring a 1.5-mile area around New Frontier Lanes. 2 more dogs join in, sniffing around an overgrown field. Despite all their efforts, the authorities don't find any solid clues. By morning, Teekah is marked as a missing child, and police hint at foul play. January 25th, 48 hours after the incident. 2 days following Teekah's disappearance, law enforcement returns to the spot where the two search dogs have traced a scent, just across from the bowling alley. There, they stumble upon a bundle of men's clothing neatly rolled up, almost as if they are deliberately placed. What's intriguing is that this area has already been thoroughly searched, and there were no indications of those clothes before. Authorities can't determine if the dogs are led there due to Teekah's scent lingering in the woods, indicating she has been there, or if it is the clothing that carries her scent. Some even speculate that the clothes might be a diversion tactic, throwing investigators off the trail. The found items include a dark blue wool peacoat with either IS or JS written on the back label, off-white Lee jeans, and a plaid button-down shirt from Columbia. Upon closer inspection of the clothes, it's crucial that there isn't any mold on it. Normally, clothes left out in that area would start to grow mold, but these men's clothes are clean as a whistle, with no mold in sight. It's as if they were just put there not too long ago. The investigators thoroughly searched the clothing for any clues or fibers that could lead them to the truth, but shockingly, the findings were never revealed to the public. With the area already scoured, it's a mystery whether the clothing was deliberately planted or just overlooked during the initial search. Interestingly enough, there were no CCTV cameras the night Teekah went missing. As investigators delve deeper into the case, their suspicions grow stronger. It seems increasingly likely that this is a rare instance of abduction by a stranger. Teekah's mom, Teresa, first thinks another lady at the bowling alley might be involved. She remembers this woman acting strangely, asking to hold a baby that isn't hers. But cops check her alibi and find she's in the clear. Still, anyone around the bowling alley is under the radar for investigation. Monday morning, January 25th, just 2 days after Teekah disappeared. Officials go door to door, interviewing neighbors. Meanwhile, Teresa willingly undergoes a lie detector test. After the polygraph test, Teresa is ruled out as a suspect. Likewise, Teekah's father, Robert Lewis, is ruled out as a suspect due to his incarceration at the time. In a show of solidarity and cooperation, other family members also undergo polygraph testing, all eager to assist in any way possible in the ongoing investigation. In the following weeks, investigators received information from 2 different witnesses who noticed strange actions from individuals at or near the bowling alley on that particular evening. The first one is from the woman, who at about 10:15 pulled up to the bowling alley. She saw a maroon Pontiac Grand AM from the 1980s to 1990s, with tinted windows and a spoiler on the trunk, zoom out of the parking lot. This is the same car that has been spotted in other attempted abductions, described down to the last detail. The second significant tip comes from a 17-year-old teenage boy who saw a man with a little girl rushing to the bathroom. As the man exited, he accidentally bumped into the teenager. The teen found his behavior rude, but assumed he was just a dad hurrying his kid to the restroom. Describing him as a white guy with a sturdy build, shoulder-length curly brown hair, and a thick mustache, the teen noticed his heavily pockmarked face, wearing a blue plaid shirt and faded jeans. At the time, the 17-year-old also spotted another man, possibly in his 30s or 40s, with long black hair, grubby jeans, and a gray jacket sporting a sports logo. Unaware of the bowling alley's announcement about Teekah's disappearance, he didn't react to it. He recalls seeing police arrive as he leaves with his parents, but they didn't share why they were there. At that moment, he still believed the man who hurried towards the restroom with Teekah was his own child. In the months before Teekah Lewis vanished, there were reports of a man trying to snatch kids around the neighborhood. Witnesses said this guy looked just like the one spotted at the bowling alley the night Teekah disappeared. November 29th, 2 months before the Teekah's disappearance. An unknown man is spotted at the very same spot where Teekah was last seen, at New Frontier Lanes. It's a Sunday evening and families are out, having a good time. One man shows up to a bowling league event with his little 4-year-old boy, just like Teekah's age. They're having a fun time, just like any other kid. But then, the son leaves his dad and heads to the bathroom. A couple of minutes later, another man enters the bathroom and finds the boy lying on the floor after being sexually assaulted by an unknown man. Then again, just a few weeks before Teekah's disappearance, another crime happens. On a Saturday night at New Frontier Lanes, a family is enjoying their time when something sinister unfolds. Their 6-year-old son is engrossed in video games at the arcade, under the watchful eye of his mother, much like Teekah's mom had done. Suddenly, the mother spots a strange man hovering near her son, claiming to be his father. but she knows for sure this isn't true. She immediately confronts him, and with the help of security guards, the man is escorted out of the alley. However, just like the previous incident in November, police aren't called. January 23rd, the same day Teekah disappeared. A man fitting the same description is spotted in a nearby park, just a short distance from the bowling alley, less than a mile away. A father takes his 2 kids to Oakland Madrona Park that Saturday afternoon. His children go to the restroom together around 2 p.m. Shortly after, he notices a peculiar man near the restroom, seemingly trying to lure his kids away. The man is gesturing for the children to follow him. The father springs into action, chasing the man away. He later reports that the man hastily fled in what appears to be a blue 1995 Pontiac Grand Am parked nearby. Now, the talk around town is all about these attempted kidnappings. People say it's a white guy with brown hair and his face looks like it has been through a war. They spot him at the bowling alley, but nobody knows his name. Maybe he's from around here and knows the streets like the back of his hand. This guy isn't exactly stealthy. He's got one thing on his mind, snatching a kid, and sadly, he got baby Teekah that night. Apart from the incidents, 6 weeks before Teekah's abduction, there were 4 other attempts reported in the Tacoma News Tribune. These aren't connected to Teekah, but they all happen near New Frontier lanes. Interestingly, the description of the suspect matches across all 4 cases. In the following months, cops try hard to connect the dots from witness sightings. They focus on a pockmarked man seen at the bowling alley and several sightings of a white guy with brown hair driving a Pontiac Grand Am. They hunt down sex offenders in the area, hoping to find a match. But as time ticks by, they hit dead ends. No suspects, no leads, and worst of all, no sign of the missing child. Months drift by without any sign of Teekah Lewis. Over a year passes, and her name has faded from local news. Spring April 28, 2001. More than 2 years later, the body of a headless child is discovered in Missouri. She will later be known as Precious Doe. This little girl, about 4 years old, is found in a wooded area near Kansas City, a victim of homicide. Her head is wrapped in a plastic bag, found 200 yards away, and an ashtray, used in the crime, is left near her body. The police start connecting the dots. Teekah was one of the missing black girls who matched the description of the victim. Their ages line up too. Teekah vanished 2 years ago, and now the victim would be around 4 years old. But DNA tests in May 2001 prove Teekah isn't Precious Doe. About 4 years later, through DNA tests, she is identified as Erica Michelle Marie Green. Shockingly, it is discovered that her stepfather and mother had plotted to end her life and hide her body. They get a life and 25 years behind bars, respectively. That marks the end of a horrifying tale, but the mystery of Teekah Lewis persists, unsolved even nearly a decade later, 2006. A private investigator hired by Teekah's family makes a startling discovery. He finds a girl living in a Dallas, Texas park who shows a resemblance to Teekah's description. This girl very much looks like her now older sisters. Interestingly enough, this girl has the same earlobes as Teekah. Teresa, Teekah's mother, speaks to the News Tribune saying, "The moment I saw the picture, my heart says she is mine. In my heart, she's my daughter." She is absolutely convinced this is it, the end of her search for Teekah. Photos are sent to Teresa, showing the girl allegedly in the care of a woman Teresa recognizes from the bowling alley, where she claimed to have seen her on the night of Teekah's disappearance. However, the FBI refutes any connection between the girl and Teekah. After a careful and intense DNA search, they confirm this is not baby Teekah. Teresa's hope again falls to the lowest. However, an incident in 2010 at the candlelight vigil marking the 11th anniversary of Teekah's disappearance again sparked hope in Teekah's mother. A stranger approaches Teresa, claiming to have had a vision about the missing girl. Teresa, startled by the encounter, has never seen this man before. His words unsettle her enough to prompt her to report the incident to the police, who take the matter seriously. Acting on the tip provided, law enforcement officers launched a search operation at Point Defiance Park, focusing on the Native Gardens area. They meticulously comb through a large foot section of ground, hoping to uncover clues about Teekah's whereabouts. Despite their efforts, no evidence is found during this excavation or subsequent searches in the vicinity. The mysterious man, described only as a middle-aged resident of the Puget Sound region, becomes a person of interest to the authorities. However, since he is not under arrest or facing charges, the police remain tight-lipped about any further details regarding his identity or involvement in the case. The intrigue surrounding his enigmatic connection to Teekah's disappearance only deepens, leaving more questions than answers in its wake. In 2022, Detective Riopel embarks on a mission to reconnect with witnesses from long ago. Among them is a man who, once a mere teenager, has now matured into adulthood. He eagerly reiterates the details he had shared with detectives 2 decades ago. One particular word lingers in Detective Riopel's mind: pockmarked. It is a striking word for the suspect, resonating throughout the case for years. Around a week after Teekah vanished, America's Most Wanted films a segment near the bowling alley. Spectators gather to witness the reenactment, including one who later reports peculiar behavior from a man with a pockmarked face. This individual's actions stand out so remarkably that they warrant police attention. Remarkably, this tip emerges spontaneously, as the police have not yet disclosed information about a person of interest with such distinctive facial features. Based on the details provided, it's likely that the perpetrator is a white man aged between 30 and 40, standing approximately 180 centimeters tall, with a slightly hefty build, sporting a thick mustache, shoulder-length curly brown hair, and possibly a prominent nose, along with a pockmarked face. During the abduction, he is clad in a blue plaid shirt and worn-out blue jeans, possibly driving a maroon or purple Pontiac Grand Am. Notably, his appearance coincides with the time when America's Most Wanted is filming in the vicinity of the bowling alley, indicating he might hail from the local Oakland or Fircrest neighborhoods in Tacoma. Teekah Lewis shares that the police have presented her with a photo of a man they suspect is involved. She recalls spotting him at the bowling alley on the night Teekah vanished. Teekah believes he even followed updates about the case on a Facebook page she created. Sadly, due to this, she now doubts Teekah's survival, expressing to reporters from the news, "When I saw that guy from the bowling alley, I knew Teekah couldn't be with us anymore." At the time she went missing, Teekah was wearing a green t-shirt, white pants, and a pair of Air Jordan sneakers. Also, Teekah had some distinctive features that could help in identifying her if she's still out there somewhere. First off, she had a big birthmark on her left butt cheek. Then, there were these lighter patches on her face caused by eczema. You couldn't miss her ears, they were pierced. And those cute dimples on her face, they were quite prominent. She also had asthma problems. Teekah still continues to hold candlelight vigils every year for her baby Teekah, and she continues to hope that maybe one day she can again reunite with her little angel. If you have any additional information about the case, please contact the authorities. Subscribe for more videos like this, turn on the notifications, and leave a like to help the channel. Thank you for watching.